Welcome to week 13 of Side Piece Poker. My name is Matt Rosga, and thank you as always for watching my content. On this week's episode, we've got one positive session of poker to talk about, but first, we've got some Baltimore sports to talk about. It's been a weird day for Baltimore sports fans, and primarily, we're going to talk about, as you can see by the jersey I'm repping right now, Lamar Jackson. News broke this morning that Lamar Jackson requested a trade about 3 weeks ago off of the Ravens. And so rather than going through some sports takes, which has been covered by the people that do that, I'm going to ask if you want to donate to Side Piece Poker so we can buy the Ravens. You know, only like 6 billion people need to comment a dollar, give me a dollar, and then they have enough to buy the Ravens. Maybe 3 billion, give $2, or, you know, who knows, some combination of that. Maybe I can hit the poker jackpot at the casino a couple times. I almost had one this week, which we'll cover in today's poker recap. But yeah, just hit a couple of those, and then I'll buy the Ravens. And if someone wants to match it, we'll buy the Orioles. And then we'll just do right by both teams. I hope Lamar's my quarterback when next season comes. That's my Ravens take for the day. The O's, shout out Vince, shout out my Orioles group chat. I would have liked to see Grayson Rodriguez on the opening day starting rotation. I hope he's there soon. I hope the O's win a lot of games this year. I'm sure that'll be a recurring theme through Side Piece Poker. We'll have a lot of Side Piece Orioles this summer, so stay tuned for that. Go O's, opening day is coming up in a few days. But yeah, it's a frustrating day to be a Baltimore sports fan. I thought losing Manny Machado would be kind of the end of that. And now it might happen with Lamar. And then it makes me look down the road at Adley and Gunnar. So, Lamar, if you're watching this, 1, sick. Thanks for watching this. 2, I hope you're a Raven next year. Big trust, I don't know. Go Lamar. Let's dive into the poker. This week's poker was played at Hollywood Casino as usual. I played in the 3-5 game, bought him for $300. I played on Saturday for around 3 hours, 3.5. Yeah, it's probably 3.5 hours. And I finished up $69. So, woo, nice. Yeah, make some jokes there. They're good ones. But we're positive for 2 weeks in a row, and that's quite nice. Just one session this week. Work's busy. And next week might be some more. While I'm home in Baltimore, I'll be playing at Horseshoe a lot. So there might be some more next week. But for this week, it's just one. And it was positive. Plus $69. We'll take that. Let's break it down. The first hand I want to start with that I alluded to earlier was my almost jackpot hand. Well, it wasn't quite jackpot, which would have been very nice, especially because at the time Hollywood Park was doing double jackpots, so it would have been like a $30K jackpot. It would have been a nice little take-home sum of money, especially because I would have been on the losing end of it. But the reason for that is that I flopped quads. Here's a little pic of the cards on the table. Those 9s you see right there are mine. And the stack you'll see in the far corner that's getting compared to the other gentleman's stack is how much money I'm getting out of that. So at that point, I had like $150, $160 in my stack. I get pocket 9s. I do not remember the pre-flop betting, but I'm in there. Flop comes ace 9-9, and I'm like, for me, it's the first time I've ever flopped quad. It's the first time I've ever gotten quads. So that is my strongest hand I've gotten to date. I'd had aces full. You'll see an aces full hand hurts me earlier in the session, but I'll talk about it afterward. But yeah, up till then, aces full is like the strongest. I'd never gotten quads. There was one time I had the chance, but I folded king jack off to a crazy bet, and then the flop comes 3 kings. So that could have been my first time of quads, but it wasn't. So this was. And flop comes out, ace 9-9. I have my quads. I know I'm good. I am first to me and this one gentleman who's like honestly shown to be a good player. We had some good conversation throughout the day. Like, shout out to you if you're watching. I didn't catch your name, but shout out to you. You're a very good opponent. So I think I check first. He raises it up 20 and then asks if it's in the budget, because that was a joke we had kind of going back and forth. It was a weird table and a lot of $20 raises. We're like, is it in the budget? But that's needless backstory. So I call his 20. The turn comes another ace. So at this point, I'm like, if he has aces, this is a jackpot. Like, I mean, the money's going in regardless. Hopefully he calls, because if he doesn't have it, then like, sick. I just win 150, 160 bucks. But if he does have it, then I'm in like 10 grand. He'll see he didn't have it, but turn comes an ace. I check. Maybe Hollywood a little bit like a side check, slow thinking about it. I check to him. He checks. The river comes out. I think it like completes a flush draw. I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it on the board. What am I saying? You see the river on the board? I got a picture of it. So there's the river. I jam all in for like whatever 110's left. I don't even remember. Whatever's left in my stack. He thinks about it for a second, tosses in a chip, and turns over ace 8. At first, I thought it was ace. I was like, oh, jackpot. And then it was just like, no. It's not. But you still win the pot, and I got quads for the first time, so that's exciting. We got some good poker content. Makes us feel good to be getting that. Hopefully some straight flushes, or if I get a royal flush, you'll hear about it. But hopefully one of those hands come in the near future. Maybe we'll get a straight flush, bad beat jackpot, have the low end of it, some of the high end will take home. Even if I get the high end, even if I get table share, free money's free money. So hopefully we see that soon. But that's the good hand of the session. The reason I had 150 bucks in my stack is because of this hand that I'm going to talk to you about now. This is the bad hand of the session. I'm probably at a effective stack. Yeah, because I'm the small stack. No, he's a small stack here. But I have about 330, 335 in my stack. The villain, I don't remember the exact positions for this one. It was kind of an hour and a half in to the 3.5 hour session. So I get king jack suited. I think I'm in the big blind. He raises it up to 30, which like is kind of alarming, but this was a younger guy. He was loose. He's making a lot of $25, $30 pre-flop bets, and like it didn't necessarily mean he had aces, kings, ace king. Could have been queens, could have been tens, could have been suited big cards, suited connected big cards. He was capable of that because I don't know, he's just loose and aggressive. So he makes it 30. I'm the only caller with king jack suited. Flop comes ace king king. We both check. Turn comes just a very inconsequential card. I think it was like a 7 or something, maybe an 8, but nothing important. He bets out 40. So what is that like? So there's like 70, 60, 70 bucks in the pot. He bets out 40. It's like a half pot size bet. I have king jack. Like I feel good. I don't think there was there might have been a flush draw on the board. I can't really remember. That's probably pretty important. Let me think. I think the turn could have completed a flush. So if he's betting 40 there, and he has about 170, 180 behind, he bets out 40. And I have to think, like, does he have the flush here? Does he have ace king? Does he have aces? Does he have kings? He obviously doesn't have kings because I have one of them. So does he have aces? Does he have ace king? Probably. I should have thought that. Like, do you ever fold the king there to that much behind? It's only like 200 bucks. Like, if we're deeper, like, probably give that a lot more thought. I don't know if the flush completed because I feel like I would have picked. It could have been a flush draw. So I think maybe. Well, my thought process in the moment is maybe he also has a king and he's trying to put a lot of pressure on a flush draw. Something like that. I might have gotten caught up in it a little bit. But essentially, when he raises 40, I put him all in for that additional 170, 180. And he Hollywoods for a little bit. He shows the guy next to him. He's like, look at this. And he has ace king. So he's got me kind of dead to rights. That's super unfortunate. And then even if a jack is on the river, like, it doesn't help me. So the turn's a brick because they're all bricks because I was dead at that point. And yeah, I have to ship him the rest of the money. So that was unfortunate. I think maybe in the future I fold to that open raise. Like if someone's, but I really have to evaluate what people are opening at typically, because if he's opening at 20, I think it was ace king offsuit as well. So if he's opening to 20 normally and he opens it up to 30, 35, or just something bigger than that, even if it's 15, 20 to like 30, 35, it probably means he has aces, kings, or ace king. And then I could fold the king jack suited, like it hurts. But maybe it's the right decision there. Because if it is ace king suited, you could be so dominated, like, and you just have like no chance. Okay, I guess not so dominated, but pretty dominated. Yeah, I guess it really isn't that bad, but you're still not in a good spot. And like, is that worth trying to catch a king and another jack? Because like, if the answer is yes to that, and you go ace king king, well, I guess yeah, that's kind of fucked. Yeah, I guess if it was king king queen, you're not scared. Maybe queens in that case. Yeah, I guess ace king king. So another thing, once he checked, this is also, he was an aggressive player, as like I mentioned. He was betting into what he perceived as weakness, and I thought maybe like when the flop came out, I gave a little sigh, like a hard check. I wanted him to perceive that I was weak. I really didn't expect him to have ace king. I was hoping he was gonna have like queens and he was gonna try to bluff me off. And so when he raised 40, like I thought that was in line with what he'd be doing in that scenario. I guess also in line if he had ace king. Then when I rip it over the top, it's either he folds, which I'm cool with. I would love if he folds a king there, and I don't have to hope about him catching a full house. But who knows? Maybe that's the wrong way to think about that, because maybe that's who I'm getting value from. If a jack comes on the river there, I'm getting it all in anyway, thinking I'm good, but who knows? If he's ace king, it feels like kind of inevitable there. I don't know if folding king jack there is too nitty. Like, if you have an opinion on that, let me know. I think the flush draw also would be very relevant there. I don't think a flush got there on the turn. But if it did, then like there's probably a good chance I should have folded. Because what I'm hoping to catch a jack. But then again, I don't think he is on the flush draw. Maybe he is. I just really thought he was trying to bluff me off of it. Because it was a 30 raise, and maybe, I mean, he's betting like, what is that, 30, 40 in the 70? Yeah, it's not half pot. But it's still 40 bucks, so like, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That's my bad hand of the week. It's one of those where you're just like, damn. If that's not ace king, you're feeling good. But it was ace king, so we're feeling bad. But then the quads happened a little bit later, so like that was awesome. We got quads. We'll keep a counter now, so we'll give two. We'll give two little boxes. So on this side, we'll check in this every so often, will be the best hand I've had to date. So in this case, it'll be quad nines. And on this side, we're going to mark the strong hands I've gotten. So up top will be royal flushes. Right now we're at 0. Sadly, hopefully that... I mean, hey, we're going to play for like 9 more months. Maybe we'll catch one. Maybe that's me being too optimistic. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? Royal flush at the top, then straight flush. And now quads. Quads are going to go 1. So we've had quads before. Sick. I hope that goes up. That'd be nice. Other notes from my poker session included aces fold. So there was a $10 straddle on. I raised it up to 30 with aces. I was under the gun, so maybe that just showing a little too much strength, but people were wild for the first, like, not necessarily wild, but very loose. There were 2 guys sitting next to me who had over $1,000 in front of them, and the maximum buy-in is 300 bucks. So, like, they were crushing it. I thought maybe they'd call me and, like, 30's not that big. Everyone folds. The last one of those is I got kings, so it's going around. I'm on my last orbit. I'm getting ready to leave. I, like, sneakily pick up the rack. So the rack's, like, with the chips come in, for those who don't know. And I like put it in between my legs or on my lap. And I say to myself, this hand, you're only playing aces or kings. If not, you're going home. I'm cool with that. Or look down at kings. Kings, sick. So I was down for a while until like that quads hand. That brought me back to even. And then I built a little bit on top of that. And so I'm happy with the $69 profit there. So, I mean, it was a grind. Like, you'd rather leave positive than negative. 69 is like nothing to write home about, but it's good. We're in the green. We put 2 greens together. Back to the store. So I get kings. I raise it up to 15. So keep in mind, this is 3-5. So I'm under the gun, I think. Or maybe under the gun +1. 15 folds. No one's playing for 15? So I toss my kings, and I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving. The people I was sitting with, honestly, if any of them were watching, they asked me about the channel. Shout out to them. They were very nice. There was one guy that I found very funny. There was another hand where there was a guy, I'm sure he's a nice guy. So I don't really describe him. Younger, solid player. I only played with him for like half an hour. Probably a little bit older than me. Probably like 5-10 years older than me, because you'll see the comment he makes to me. So the guy next to me was a nice guy. He told me he was from India. He was like super nice, super awesome dude. We had a great conversation. He told me it was the first time he played poker in a while, and I hope like for the rest of the session he crushed it. But there's a bunch of folds, and it's me. I called. I think it was just like I was either 5 or 10. It was all limps. I had ace jack offsuit. It was either all limp, something stupid, or 10. I think I was in the big blind again. So the flop comes. Oh, before. Sorry. So I get ace jack offsuit. It folds to. I might be in the small blind. No, I'm in the big blind. So one player calls, one of the later position players call. I think it had to have been 10. So someone bumps up to 10, he calls, and then I call. small blind folds. And I go to the small blind because we've been talking. I'm like, here, play along with me. And it's ace jack offsuit. So the flop comes ace, ace, queen with 2 hearts on the board. Goes check, check. I bet 15. Folds. And I'm like, no, all right. I had an ace. I turned it over. And then some guy was like, you bet more than half pot on that board? Of course we're going to fold. And I was like, dude, it's Hollywood Park. No one here at this table, ever respects that. 15 is a reasonable open. And he's like, I've been playing here since 2018. You don't need to educate me or teach me. And I don't know. If you've ever played with me, you'll see how I am at the table. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to teach you anything. Just creating conversation if that's how you're going to respond to that. And then, I don't know, it seemed very ticked off. I have a couple of things to say to that. One, come on, man. Do you think I was trying to teach you? Think I'm trying to be a dick? Nah, just engage, talk. It's the 3-5 tables. 2, it's 2023, bro. If you've been playing at Hollywood Park Casino since 2018 and this is the table you're sitting at, ooh, I got some news about how good you are at poker. But I didn't say that because, that's not the vibes you want to be bringing. But what was very funny is the gentleman to my left is a very nice gentleman. And I really hope we were talking about the channel, if he watches this, he gets a shout out right now. I didn't catch his name, but I hope to see him again soon. And maybe we'll catch his name and we'll talk to him on the channel. But so, Mr. Semi-Pro, the one who said that to me earlier, so the small blind is $3, and at Hollywood Park, there's the $5 yellow chips and the $1 blue chips. And so most people put out the $3 blue chips for the small blind because 3 makes sense. And then the yellow for the big blind. So he has his 2 blue chips laying down, and then he balances one on top. And the guy next to me is like, oh, now can you do that? Jokingly. And I was like, I don't know, man. Only 5 more years of experience. 4 more years of experience. I will be able to do that. And then he starts laughing. He's like, I don't know, though. Is it 5 years, though? Because, COVID happened. And I'm like, that's a good point. So what do you think? Does that 1 year and a half, I assume that's when he stopped. Does that get factored into home games counting that 5 years of experience to unlock the chip stand? And then you can talk to other players you're sick and you're on the WSOP tour and you're better than everyone? I don't know. Let me know. Because if COVID doesn't count, then he didn't pass that 5-year mark to be a dickhead. So that's just that. So that's my poker recap and evaluation from the week. It was a good session. I enjoyed it. Let's move in the next section, which I'm going to be calling Spotlight. In the Spotlight section, I'll shine a light on some of the poker content that I'm enjoying, and maybe you can go check out as a result of this. So let's dive into that section. For my first ever Spotlight, I'm going to highlight the Hustler Casino live stream that happened last Thursday. So I'm highlighting this one because it's a creator stream. And so it's 8-handed. Players got together in Hollywood. It's not in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, California at Hustler Casino to play a game of poker. And here's the intro for that. It's very cool. It's on YouTube. I put the link in the description. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's a lot of TikTokers, some of them playing for the first time, they said. And it's cool to watch. I thought a lot of the first timers played well. Barstool Nate's in it. It's repping the DMV, but he lost money. So if Barstool needs someone else to go to these streams and win money, hit me up. But now, check out the podcast Nate puts on. It's cool. It's good stuff. Repping the DMV well. Bryce Hall's in it. Honestly played well. Alex Botez gave action. Mickey's in there. Calls in a stir. It's a cool stream. Definitely check it out. I think I might do, for this and other HCL or bike or lodge streams in the future, maybe choose a stream and then write some notes on and break down how I think each player played. Maybe some spots I like, some spots I didn't like. That might be a good way to some content. We'll see. Maybe I'll even be playing in a Hustler Casino stream soon enough. It's close by. Who knows? Maybe 5K buy-in. This creator one everyone was 10K under. Here are the starting chip counts. Let you check those out for a second. And then here are the final chip counts with profit loss. So you can see that. Those are less gaudy than some of the numbers you will see on there. Last Friday, there's a 750,000 plus pot involving Mariano where he had aces against kings and another pair of kings. So that's a crazy amount of action. Definitely check that stream out too. But for the Spotlight, I want to shine it on the creator one because who knows? Maybe I'll be playing on that soon. Maybe Side Piece Poker will be on the big screen. Who knows? I could go win some money. We'll see. If anyone in the LA area is watching this and has a high stakes poker game you want me to be a part of if you're doing creator content, I'll come play. Side Piece will be there. We'll take some. I might have to change my name on that. I can't. No, I don't know if we're saying side piece, but we'll think of something. Side piece poker, so will be the name of the channel, but we gotta think. So that's Spotlight. It's really the last thing I gotta talk about today, so let's dive into our wrap up. Thank you so much for watching week 13 of Side Piece Poker. Week 14 will be played in Baltimore, Maryland, primarily at Horseshoe Casino, because I'm going home for my cousin's bar mitzvah. Maybe a little TMI, but we play in a Horseshoe this week. If you're around in Baltimore, I'd love to go hit the tables with you, so let me know. I'm probably going to play some mornings before work, because I work West Coast hours, and that 9 to like 11, 11:30 time frame works really well. There's some good promotions, so I'll be checking those out. I would have loved if the Horseshoe promotions happened at Hollywood Park. So over the past March, like March hasn't been good, clearly we've seen. It's all right. We're being transparent. We're being real about it. So March hasn't been the best, but if some of these promotions that Horseshoe has were at Hollywood Park, like I'd probably be in the green right now. Because alone I can think of, at least one aces full, 2 kings full, and then there's quads. I have to assume one of them would have held for high hand or even been an insta-pay, so that's like $200 to $400 to $500, like coming my way. And that's why we give Horseshoe the high score. So next week will be played at Horseshoe. Hopefully week 14 will be 3 green numbers in a row. Week 12 and week 13 are both positive. $1 and $69. Weird amounts, but they're positive. So hope to keep trucking in week 14. So my name is Matt Rosga. This is Side Piece Poker. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you come back next week for week 14 of Side Piece Poker.